Yours was better.
Characters anymore, just whatever you have sitting next to you.
Hey, remember a couple of weeks ago, I was like, we don't even have anything in the studio anymore. Somebody must have heard, and they left a giant thing of Clorox wipes in here. So it's progress, Troy. We're getting there. Soon we'll have cooler stuff in the studio, but we'll got to start somewhere. What did you have? I barely saw yours. What was yours?
It was Dr. Spock, Leonard Nimoy.
Okay. I thought it was just a reflection on my eyebrows. I was all looking. I was like, all I saw was in a giant head. I thought it was me. I was like, okay.
With the bowl cut.
Yeah. That's where I'm headed at this point if I don't cut my hair soon.
Hey,
well, we're not here to talk about hairstyles, everybody. Welcome to Zia Comic Weekly, where we get to nerd out for the next half hour. We get to have some fun, talk all things comic related, some of your favorite superheroes, some of your favorite villains. I mean, maybe me and Troy will make the list of top villains. You never know. So we've been in our lair planning out things. We'll see.
We'd be more like street level rather than super villains.
Yeah, it would be like, we tried. We'll give it the good old tip. It worked. What's going on, Troy? How you been?
Oh, busy. It's not long now till what was it, 10 days? 9-10 days to Las Cruces Comic-Con.
It's crunch time, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Yes, it is.
Oh man, so exciting! With Las Cruces Comic-Con coming up. Before we get started, for those watching, remember you can drop in comments. Let us know if there's something you want us to talk about. We also got something coming up a little bit later where we're going to need your input. Let us know. We'll get to our this or that of the morning. I got something pretty cool for you, Troy. It's gonna be pretty fun. So we'll talk about that later. But Comic-Con, man, coming up 10 days, man. So how's it going, man? No sleep, I guess.
No, we're putting the packets together now. Trying to make it easier for people when they come in, so we have everything all together and just boom, here you go. Your lanyard, your badge, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's not a big bottleneck at the front door.
Yeah, that's the one thing. But you've been warning them for like a month now. Like, hey, get them early.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, people don't listen.
Oh man, don't you hate? I know how that goes too. Like you tell them and like, oh yeah, I thought. Oh well, you have to enjoy this line for a little bit.
Yeah, people don't read it. Don't matter how many signs or how many times you tell them. Yeah. They'll walk right past those signs and ask you what's written on the sign every time.
Oh yeah, no, and it's you want to tell them like, do you see the sign? Like,
you take a deep breath.
Count to 10. Think about it, and you'll be good.
Yeah.
I went to the website this morning. We were talking about Comic-Con, and you guys already got the schedule laid out too, so people know what's going to be happening at what times and kind of how things are going to be rolling that day. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the Cruces one's pretty easy because we only have really one panel room.
Yeah.
So we don't have to worry too much about conflicts, and there's no professional photo ops this year at Las Cruces Comic-Con. So you had, for the other ones like at El Paso, we had to make sure we didn't have somebody's Q&A panel going on at the same time they were supposed to be doing a photo op. And that makes it they can't be in two places at once.
And that's just one of the tough things, though, because like you do want somebody to go to the panel, but then they're like, oh, but I also want to do my photo op with, a Mick Foley or whoever was out and about in El Paso. I mean, so yeah, this definitely it's gonna be easier to maneuver. It looks exciting, man. I'm stoked for the weekend. In 10 days, we're just 10 days away from Las Cruces Comic-Con.
Yeah, like I said, this is the first one in 5 years, so we're every venue is different, so we're kind of we're using this year to kind of see what we can build on from here. Plus, the attendance. Only thing we can go on is what the attendance was 5 years ago. So, are all those people going to come back? Are we going to get more people than that? Less people than that? We don't know. We're just hoping. We need to break even.
I think we're just excited to finally be going back out again, man. I mean, that's the thing. I think a lot of us were cooped up for so long that it's like we're excited, and then to have it back. 5 years is a long time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're ready to go do some stuff, man. We're ready to have some fun.
Yeah, and I got asked, like every year, when you bringing back Las Cruces? When you bring back Las Cruces? I was like, well, construction, and then that was done. Like, all right, we're getting on the schedule, and then COVID hit. I'm like, okay, schedule's gone.
How much that was crazy though, because you're right. I forget oftentimes they did do that big that remodel.
Yeah.
And it just is like, okay, so I guess we gotta wait, or what's going on?
Well, they wanted us to do the event while they were under construction. I don't want an event while construction's going on. I don't care how much you try to keep it away from people. It's just, you know, even though it's the venue, it reflects on us. So I just said, you know what, we'll just wait. It was going to be 1 year originally with construction. That got pushed to what, 2.5 years before they finally finished.
Yeah, it's crazy. I can't even recall being in the convention center since they did the remodel. I mean, we've been there, but we've mainly they had a lot of outdoor events and stuff, but I haven't
Yeah.
seen the new remodel. So, I mean, I've seen it from driving by it, but I mean, I'm sure there's definitely some more to it.
They pushed the exhibit hall out a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Then they added some more breakout meeting rooms there on that side near the hotel. But other than that, that's really all they changed. I wish they would have made it, bigger all the way around, but I guess they only have so many funds.
Let's hope we don't plan this in another 5 years. Like, hey, look, you guys did it one time. You guys can stop on that. So yeah, so Comic-Con is coming up, and if you get your tickets, they can still get tickets, right? For
Yes, sir.
VIP. Break it all down for people.
Yeah, we mailed out the VIP and weekend tickets that were purchased up to July 31st. If you purchased, before July 31st, you should have gotten them in the mail. If you purchase your VIP and weekend tickets after that date, you're going to have to pick them up at the door.
Yeah. So we told y'all.
Yeah. You just have to wait in line with the unwashed masses.
And Joey and Jackie probably standing outside.
That's what I was talking about.
Well, Troy, let's get to some happenings that have been going on, especially over the last 24 hours. We'll start with Disney Plus. There's going to be a tier level to Disney Plus. Looks like they're going to go with different price points.
Yeah, that the amount of money they're dumping into their streaming services, all the shows they're putting up there. I kind of saw the writing on the wall. I was like, there's no way they can keep offering us this without an increase.
Yeah. And then last week we talked about one of the shows that you're loving right now, Orville. If you've been on Disney Plus, the new season is now on there.
Oh, they put the new season on Disney Plus.
They put the new one on.
Didn't they have the old stuff already?
Yeah, they just last week when we talked about it, they had just added the old seasons, and then their new what do they call the new season? It's
Horizon or something.
Yeah, Horizons is now on Disney Plus.
Wow, nice.
So I'm telling you, man, I think we're probably gonna get seasons going there or a movie.
I think I would actually go watch a Orville movie. I like it that much. It's like I said, it's this generation's Star Trek.
Yeah. No, and and it's great because for those I haven't really seen, because you said there's a big switch, going into this new season. So I've been playing catch up. So I mean, I'm slowly one by one, when I can steal the remote away from my son, trying to watch, other shows. I tell you, man, yesterday, Bluey, for some reason, this little cartoon dog is what we were watching on Disney Plus. That I'm just kind of like, yep, I've officially become a dad, and I am watching.
When you start humming those songs to yourself in the car, that's when you know.
That's what someone told me yesterday. They're like, if you're hyped to leave work to go watch Bluey, yeah, you've made it to that.
When my kids were growing up, it was worse. It was Barney.
Oh man, Barney. Yeah.
I love you. You love. Yeah, that.
Every generation
stuck in my head.
It's sad, huh? Because then when someone says something remotely close, you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm just starting to think.
I get
Barney.
triggered. Oh God, Barney.
I can't even see a Blue Healer because then I just think about that TV show that my son likes to watch. So, a couple new things did drop on Disney Plus. I Am Groot, the shorts, the I Am Groot shorts officially dropped yesterday. You get a chance to see any of those?
Not yet. I'm going to. It's just I've been catching. I mean, I'm so far trying to watch Better Call Saul, which is it's excellent this season. What We Do in Shadows, and then Sandman dropped on Netflix. So, every chance I get, I have it open on the phone or just trying to keep caught up on everything. But Groot's on the list. They look really cute. Have you seen any of them?
Yeah, I saw the first one where he takes over. I can't remember what they're called, but it's he's the big guy, and it takes over a little village of like little like I want to call them like little bugs, and he
Yeah,
becomes the king of them, and it was
that's where he
cute.
poops out the little leaf and they eat it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was cute though, but it's
Oh,
perfect.
good.
But you could tell that they're trying to build off of it's not like all of a sudden Groot went on his own adventure. It's like maybe the Guardians stopped here for a pit stop and then they follow. It's pretty cool. So there's I believe 6 right now on Disney Plus. So we saw the first one yesterday and I was like, yeah, this is pretty entertaining. It's what you need to kind of like, okay, he's cute.
Yeah, little doses of Groot.
Yeah. No, it's perfect, man. It's like, what do I compare it to? It's like if they did the same thing with Grogu. Like, just give us little bits of it. I mean, that'd
Yeah.
be pretty cool.
Well, Disney Plus, the shorts they do are almost as good as the movies and the series because Marvel had a bunch of little shorts. They had some for Up with the dog.
Yeah.
Those are really cute, and it looks like Groot is falling right in line with those. So
I know, man. It's definitely one like if you and I would say I didn't see the how long they were for the other ones, but the one that we saw yesterday was like 6 minutes. So it's
yeah,
quick point, and just watch the very beginning. You'll see why they're trying to fit in 6 minutes worth. It's hilarious. But yeah, I Am Groot is on Disney Plus, and of course this is all gearing up because I believe next week She-Hulk it comes out on Disney Plus.
yes, and that's supposed to be Daredevil's supposed to be featured in there pretty heavily.
Yeah, so
So I'm excited because they're bringing the Daredevil show back with Vincent D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox.
and that's
So
great because we're gonna get more
yeah,
of these shows. And if I'm not mistaken, they said that I think next year when Daredevil, we're gonna get like almost half the year that there's gonna be new episodes. So quite a bit of Daredevil.
18, I think 18 episodes. They said that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Which is the
Yeah,
most.
just looking at the lineup they talked about at San Diego Comic Con, dude, that schedule is stacked for the next 2 years.
Yeah, no, and I mean, and then you can see why Disney Plus is making this adjustment to say, hey, it's time to pay a little bit more.
Yeah, they looked at the checkbook and were like, "Hey, we're running a little short."
It's like, oh, we love this Marvel content, but you maybe gonna pay an extra dollar or two. We'll see how it works out.
And I will.
Yeah, that's
Just
kind of
take
how
the
it goes.
money. Just take it.
Uh, so one of the conversations, Troy, we actually had yesterday on the big show because we were talking about the whole HBO Max situation, which we talked here on
Oh,
Zia Comics Weekly last week. But it came up the conversation: which streaming service do you need to get rid of? I mean, we've mentioned this time and time again. At this point, we're back to paying cable prices with all the streaming services that we
yeah.
have. But Troy, I want to ask you, and if you're watching, what streaming service are you going to get rid of? If you need to eliminate one streaming service, which one are you going to get rid of?
Well, first, as soon as Better Call Saul season ends, AMC is going away.
Oh, okay.
As soon
AMC
as
Plus?
what's that?
Is it AMC Plus?
Yeah, AMC Plus. It'll go
Okay.
away. And then once I get caught up on the South Park streaming wars and the Beavis and Butthead series, Paramount will go away. But the major one's going to be like you said, HBO Max. The
Yeah.
only thing on there that I really would care about would be the Harley Quinn cartoon
Mhm.
because if they stop doing their movies, being on HBO Max also, why bother?
Yeah.
Not going to do it.
That was the takeaway for me was especially when we were going through everything with the pandemic and theaters weren't open. HBO Max stood out to me because like all those
Mhm.
movies were going there. We saw Mortal Kombat on there when we couldn't go to
Suicide Squad.
yeah, man. And then John Cena's lovely character of Peacemaker. I mean, I don't know. I've been saying that I think HBO Max will be the one to go away for me. I think that will be the one we'll cut. And Paramount Plus. I just got to finish watching Beavis and Butthead, and then I think we're done with that one.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Yeah, HBO Max, ever since Discovery's taken over and they've got new overlords, they've been changing direction a lot. I mean, they had Batgirl done. They were in final edits. And then they're like, hey, no, we're not going to do it.
So why wouldn't I don't understand why they went? Were they afraid it was going to cost them? I mean, they've already paid everybody, so why wouldn't you just release it?
I don't know because and Michael Keaton was supposedly having cameos in there as Batman. So everybody's like, and they're going to take it as a tax write-off, which means they can't release it in any form or media, or that tax write-off is no good. So basically,
Yeah,
they just threw it in the trash.
that's
$90 million in the trash.
so between that one, there was a list I saw. I don't have it in front of me, but I know that was a major project. They were also working on you know how they had the Scooby Doo movie that they had
Yeah, that
recently.
one's cut. The Scoob. Yeah.
Yeah, they had one, and that was a full length feature, and it was done, and they just said, you know what, just throw it away. We don't need it.
Yeah. Well, they're running into a lot of problems too with their talent. We got Flash with Ezra Miller losing his mind.
Yeah,
And then Aquaman 2 with Amber Heard and all her bad publicity.
yeah.
So, they're not firing on all cylinders right now.
Yeah, DC can't catch a break, man, because it's like, okay, we're gonna do this. Nope, not happening anymore.
Yeah, yeah, and it's too bad. And if they would take a book out of Marvel where they've got the whole roadmap planned out, it seems like DC's just kind of pulling stuff out of the air, going, "Oh well, let's reboot Batman again."
For the third time.
Yeah. So there are more than those three characters in DC. Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman. There are other characters. Look at Peacemaker.
Yeah. And I think that's what's going to be the road to success for DC, like you said, because like you said, they laid out this like adventure for us that we knew where it's going. And even after we see, like, even with Thor, Love and Thunder, we know where this could possibly lead to, or okay, it leaves you guessing for the next movie, and it's great. Whereas for DC, like, you get to, I mean, like, we got Black Adam that's going to be coming out pretty soon. Like, where is that going to tease to the next Shazam, or is it going to throw us for a loop and send us somewhere else?
Yeah, I wish I knew. I don't think DC knows either. Like I said, I think they're just playing it by ear. Like,
Yeah.
oh, really? People like that? Well, let's do some more of that.
Yeah. DC, we're here to help you guys out. So if you
Let's
guys,
put a Batman cameo in there. People like the Batman.
it's like, I mean, everybody buys Batman shirts. Let's do
Yeah.
that. Okay. Great logic. I mean, they do
like that one. We'll reboot it. We'll use a different actor.
Who can we get as Superman? Quick, find somebody. We'll just throw him in a cape and call it good. I mean, we got you got the new Joker movie that's going to come out eventually. I mean, it's headed in the right direction, but somebody was saying it's going to be a musical.
That's what I've been hearing, and that Joker movie shouldn't be in the DCEU. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the movie. It was a great movie as a standalone movie, but don't try to connect it to the DCU because no, it's just not going to work.
Although this could be the starting point for them. If they were saying, look, let's start with Joker. Let's make this our Captain America, be the first movie, and then go that way.
Maybe DC's just going to make all their new movies musicals.
Because that's what we need is The Rock singing more, right?
They saw the end credits on Hawkeye with the Captain America musical. They're like, you know what?
Oh my God.
People will like that. Let's go with that.
You're right. DC, why did you? Oh,
yeah, you guys are stealing the wrong things from Marvel.
It's like there was so many other great things, so many great fight scenes, not the end credits to a subpar TV show that was on Disney Plus. Although it was comical at the time, but let's not make the whole Joker movie about it.
Oh, geez.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I don't know. DC's definitely got a lot of work. And it's crazy because they got such great. I mean, when you look at their history, their comics are legendary. Just the characters we're talking about. Such a legendary franchise and a brand that when it comes to their movies, they don't really hit.
No, the cartoons are great, and that's it. Their cartoons are great. Their movies are hit or miss.
Yeah. So. No, and then I know some people will probably say, well, they make hundreds of millions of dollars. It's like, yeah, they do. I mean, because there's
merchandise.
Yeah, it's the merch. I mean, everybody, if you go through your closet right now, I'm sure you have a Batman shirt somewhere.
Well, I did this one day. I went out and we're downtown. I just went and sat out front and I marked down how many people were wearing comic book related shirts, and then broke it down between Marvel and DC and characters. And yeah, Batman by far had way more shirts, and like every second or third person had a comic book related shirt or something comic book related they were wearing.
Yeah.
So it's crazy how much that has penetrated culture.
Yeah. I mean, it's just everybody. I mean, and just that logo is so iconic that, I mean, I know this is way TMI right now. I even got Batman underwear, man. Like, I mean, that's the thing. It's just, I mean, Batman. I mean, if anyone gets a superhero shirt, that's the first thing. That and Superman.
Yeah, it seems like for DC, those are the two big. Well, and women are getting a lot of the Wonder Woman stuff. So
Yeah.
you don't see a lot of Aquaman shirts. You don't see a lot of Peacekeeper shirts. So
You see a
yeah,
lot of John Cena shirts, but not a lot of Peacekeeper.
you don't see him at all.
Exactly. He's like, that shirt's just floating by itself. What's going on?
So every shirt is a John Cena shirt.
It really is. It's like, hey, I couldn't see it. See, you sold another shirt. But no, and that's what I don't understand, because I mean, when you look at, like, even from a comic book standpoint, I mean, some of those characters just always stood out. I feel like with Marvel, their brand got elevated through these movies. I mean, from the very first Iron Man, I feel like that just really elevated the brand even more because they were doing the movies right. Whereas for DC, you were already on a high with everything that you were doing. You just give us what we want.
Yeah, they just keep crashing the car, man.
I know. Or the Batmobile in this case. Oh my gosh. So speaking of superhero movies, so one thing that I came across, it was a survey that was recently done where they asked people, do you still like going to see superhero movies? And according to a new survey, they said that it's dropped by 5%. 81% of people that were surveyed said that they like seeing superhero movies, but that's actually down from last year by 5%. You think people are losing interest in superhero movies?
Well, what was the last big one in the theaters? Was it the I Am Batman?
I'm Batman.
And all the DC stuff so dark and gritty, man. I go to the movies to be entertained and happy. Don't make me depressed. I'm already depressed. I don't need to see that.
It's like we went through 2020. I think we need some fun. Some happy.
I'm wondering if that number would change if another big blockbuster Marvel movie hit during that survey.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could. I mean, we did get, Doctor Strange, but that was a little dark.
That was kind of dark too.
Yeah, I mean, you had that one, and maybe you're right. Maybe it's just people are just like, okay, we want to have that superhero, but I mean, if he's sadder than I am going to this movie theater,
I don't want to see an emo superhero.
I'll take Top Gun Maverick any day.
Yeah, but even a 5% drop, that's still what you said, 85%.
Yeah,
that's still quite a lot of people. So
yeah, I mean, and especially because we talk every week about the lineup for the next 5 years of superhero movies and superhero content that we're going to get. To see that much of a number, it's enough to make the studios go, okay, do we need to plan better? Do we need to make sure that we're releasing when we need to, or what do we do?
Well, I think the number was high before because Marvel, all their movies, they're all planned out and they all mesh. So, one movie would build on the other and they would use stuff out of the other movies. So it kept building and you would recognize stuff. You're like, oh yeah, I remember when they talked about that in the first Iron Man, or I remember when they talked about this in that movie.
Yeah.
And it would just kept building. And that's how they got the Avengers to be so big. All those characters, they kept building on each other till they had this huge monster of a movie.
And one thing to think about, Troy, is I think they're getting all the demos too when it comes to Marvel. Because think about the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I think that's one movie that I think we could say stands out because I mean it was a cartoon and it really captured the younger demographic, but even some of us, classic generation, I'll call us, they enjoyed it too. So I think Marvel has a good job of saying, okay, hey, look, we can still do the cartoon and they'll still enjoy it. My son likes to watch this preschool version of Spider-Man right now. Yeah. And they know how to capture their audience.
I think what I think both of them need to do is start branching out past those, small handful of characters they're using. They have such a huge pool of characters they can pull from. Why do you want to keep going back to the well? Hey, here's another Batman movie. Hey, here's a Batman versus Superman movie.
Yeah, that's why I would
be like Spider-Man. I got another Spider-Man movie for you.
Hold on. Yeah, how many Spider-Mans have we done? 3. I think we can get 2 more in. Let's throw 2 more guys in the flute and call it good. No, I mean, but you're right, because if you think about it, I mean, even with comics, there's so many superheroes out there that they haven't even scratched the surface. There's so many out there that they can make movies. I mean, Like, we have, from Black Panther to Namor to, there's just so many, and to see where the direction's going to go. I'm excited for those rather than it say, hey, let's reboot Iron Man and see what happens. Like,
Yeah.
let's not reboot Iron Man.
I mean, when they do introduce new characters, look how well like Guardians of the Galaxy were new characters. Black Panther was a new character, and all it does is make that film universe even bigger and more inclusive. With all the new characters they're bringing in, but DC is just like they keep throwing that Trinity at you.
Yeah. So you got the Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, and eventually they'll stick.
And we'll try a Justice League. We'll bring in Aquaman.
That was another one for me that I really wished. I thought Justice League would have been the perfect setup for them to finally. I thought that's what they were going to go to follow the Avengers in a sense, but it just, and the Snyder cut was really great too.
Oh yeah, it was great. But don't get me wrong. I love Jason Momoa. He doesn't look anything or act anything like the Aquaman from the comic books whatsoever.
I know. So, it's way different when girls all of a sudden are like, Aquaman is hot.
Oh, I like Marvel, or I like DC. Yeah.
Oh my God, the X-Men. It's like, first of all, do you guys want to see what he looks like in the comic book for reals? Because
he's a blonde surfer boy.
He isn't as ripped as Jason Momoa walking out. Like, but I mean, they at least they had made the attempt, and I mean, they went after what they thought was the demo at the time and said, "Hey,
it worked." I mean, Aquaman made money.
I know. When my wife was excited to go see it, she was like, "Hey, let's go see Aquaman." I'm like, "Huh?" Like, okay, I guess. Like, we'll go see it. We'll see what's all about. Oh, it's because of him. Oh, now
there's a shirtless scene. Okay.
Oh, this guy never puts on a shirt. Okay, this is really starting to make. Now I feel very uncomfortable.
And then you ask her when you get home. So, what did you think about the movie?
There was a
plot line.
What? I didn't even hear his voice the whole time. Oh my gosh. So yeah, there's definitely a lot to take away from what DC's doing, and I hope they get it together. But it is crazy to think that, superhero movies, I mean, even though it's still 81% of people still want to see superhero movies, 5% is a big drop, though, if you really think about it.
It is, but, it's been how many years? I mean, they're going to hit saturation eventually, and there'll be a dip, but then something will happen, and those people will get excited again, and they'll come back. So, it's a roller coaster.
Don't worry, next year will be different. We'll probably be talking like, oh, they went up 5%. Well,
what? God, can you believe 90% of the people? Yeah.
Like, yeah. Well, look at all the movies they got coming out this year.
Yeah. Maybe the streaming services will kick it up.
I mean, they would need to. One streaming service that I've been kind of impressed with, I haven't been on there in a while, Netflix. Watching some of the new movies. I don't know if this is related to HBO Max getting ready to, change hands. But like Uncharted with Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland, I was gonna say Spider-Man. That's on there. That's available for streaming, and that was recently in theaters, and it was a #1 movie. I mean, that's about the time after Spider-Man, and then this was his next project. Great movie, but there's so many recognizable movies right now on Netflix that I'm like, yeah, okay, I think I'm gonna stick around with Netflix.
Yeah, I'm keeping Netflix. I had to finish Sandman first, but they always have something that pulls me in and wants me to keep them. So Netflix is safe.
Yeah, no, that's the one that we won't even have to discuss. That one and Hulu, just because it has the live TV. But after that, I think everything else is going to have to go.
Yeah, it'll up it. Whatever service pulls the cool show in, we'll grab them for a month.
Or we're all about to start this group where we can shave passwords and just like, hey, you can borrow Disney this week. I'll borrow Hulu and you can take Discovery Plus. I mean, I probably shouldn't admit this right now because then later Netflix is like, oh, okay. So
they come knocking on the door. Hey, we heard that you were sharing passwords.
I'm gonna need your $10, please.
It was Jackie. Jackie made me do it.
Before we get out of here, what do you guys got going on at Zia Comics?
Just more of the same. Every Wednesday with the new comics. Friday for Friday Night Magic. Saturday for the free board game stuff, and then Sunday is just we have all kinds of stuff on Sundays. 1 week it might be paint and take, then next week it might be puzzle tournaments. So still trying to get some people in for in-store signings, but it's it's kind of difficult in Cruces. So
And you're also planning Las Cruces Comic-Con too. So
there's that, and trying to open in Alamogordo.
look at that thing too, huh? Oh,
Yeah. Well, as soon as I get offline here, I'm driving to Alamogordo to do some more demolitions. So
remember, guys, this is the stress reliever for him. He's taking his sledgehammer and driving up to Alamogordo
and just beating the walls.
Oh, man. If they want to connect with you on social, how can they get in touch with Zia Comics and to find out all what you guys got going on?
We're all over the interwebs, man. We got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok. I went off screen for a second. Yeah,
I know. I had to, because we adjusted the camera in the studio. So the whole time that I've been kind of like, wait, no. Oh,
I need to draw lines on the computer. Oh, you stay within this. And yeah,
because I've noticed myself, even today, I'm just kind of like leaning off to the camera. Like, because I'll be like this. I'm like, wait, you're not on camera. What's going on? Of course, with me, you guys can keep up with the Big Show, Hot 103's Big Show on Facebook. You can look for Big Show FM. And then for my tens and tens of followers on TikTok, Joey on the FM, go and check it out. You get to see just how excited I was to watch Bluey on Disney Plus.
So that was a good video.
I'm excited. I'm always excited to watch a Disney Junior TV show. That's my life, Troy. Guys, this has been another edition of Zia Comic Weekly. Remember to drop in your comments. Let us know which streaming service you're getting rid of. If there's something you guys want us to talk about next week, remember, drop in those comments, and we'll see you guys next week, same time, for Zia Comic Weekly.